Hi guys, and welcome back to Mima's Crafts and Chaos. Hey, so today I thought I'd do something a little different with you guys today. Instead of, because you guys have seen most of these little characters made. If you watch a lot of different channels, you've seen them all made lots of different times. Especially this little guy. I think everybody has this little guy. Some people call him a deer, some people call him an elk. I call him a moose. If you buy the mold, I think it's listed as a deer, but to me, with the way its antlers are and its big nose, I just think it looks like a moose, but that's just me. Everybody has their own, whatever they want to call him, which is fine, because I guess he could be anything. Anyway, so we got our little fat alligator, a little bear that a lot of people have seen the little bear done. The hippo, I think a lot of people have the little hippo. This one, if you don't have this mold and you decide to get it, be prepared. This thing is a monster to get unmolded. It's because its body is so small and its head's so big, but if you spray lots of alcohol down in there, you can get it unmolded pretty good. So anyway, and then we've got some of our little pigs here that I've done, and I've done these on another video. But this one, we're definitely going to have to put a hat on. I thought I had the mica powder cleaned up good, but I didn't. I have, well, there's a couple of them that I didn't clean the bottoms of them yet, but we'll get that done, cleaned up a little bit later. So we have some bunnies and some unicorns and the pigs and turtles. So I'm going to kind of show you what I do to do their little faces. Now, I do it a little different. Me and markers don't get along. Markers do not work for me. I have a really hard time staying in the lines, and when there's, like, when you get the little mica bubbles and you go to do the markers on it, it jumps around, and I don't know. I just have a hard time with them. And I guess I'm a little OCD when it comes to being out of the lines and stuff. And I spend more time wiping it off than I do getting the stuff done. So what I do, I have my high viscosity resin, keep it upside down to keep bubbles out of it. Plus, when your bottle's getting low, it helps so you don't have to shake it down all the time. I got my pigment paste here. These two I have already kind of done. They are done with the UV resin. Yes, it is pretty dark. And a lot of people are like, your UV resin won't cure if it's too dark. Well, it's pretty thin coat. It's not thick. I always hit it with my light first to keep it in place. And then I put it in my dual light, Let's Resin, UV light. So I have this one. I also have their other one, their purple one, which I really like that one too. This one just happens to be the one I have out today, so we're going to use this one. Anyway, so let's get started. We're going to start with some unicorns. So I've got my UV resin and something in it already. Got my UV resin in my little pot. I'm going to take some of my pigment paste. And like I said, yes, it makes it pretty dark. You're not going to need very much at all, because if you guys do this, pigment pastes are very highly pigmented. So yes, it is pretty dark, but don't fret about that. If you're not making it too thick, you should be okay with getting it cured. If you were doing it, like when if I don't use all this up, I stick it in my light and cure it. Now, pretty much every color I do will cure all the way through. Even these are cleared through, but the black usually will not cure all the way through. So it is true that it will not cure all the way through if it's thick. And that's not even very thick, but like I said, it'll still maybe not cure. So get that mixed up really well. Let's wipe it off. Whoops, I just took the top right off of that one. Okay. The other thing I like to do first before I get started is I like to take my alcohol and yes, I know I should be wearing gloves with this, but I have a really hard time doing this stuff with gloves on, even though I buy the smallest glove there is so that they fit good and tight because I do have small hands. Which you're going to have to excuse my ugly hands today. I don't have my pretty nails on because my fingers are in bad shape. So anyway, I try to wipe off anywhere I'm going to put it, and then I try not to touch that spot again. And another reason why I don't use the markers is because the markers, like if this was somebody's and they took something and wiped it off, if it was dusty or something sitting on their shelf, then you take the chance of them wiping the marker off, because markers, of course, not going to be permanent unless you was to like paint over it with some UV resin or something. Then it would be kind of permanent. I have a really hard time, like I said, staying in the lines with markers and that. So I like to do this. And yes, this doesn't necessarily mean it's permanent. It's not going to wipe off. If they were to wipe it, even if they were to wipe it with alcohol, it's not going to wipe off. But like if they was to take something sharp and try to pull that up, yeah, it could possibly come out of there. But anyway, so what I like to do, I have to have my little magnifying glass here. When you get old, just start getting blind and it's hard. A lot of these little guys get a lot of little mica bubbles under their chins and stuff. I try really hard to get them out, but for some reason, this last batch I did, some of them are really good, like he's pretty good. And some of them, you just get all these little mica bubbles. I don't know how well you guys can see them, but you can see the little mica bubbles under their chins and stuff. And sometimes that causes problems when you're trying to either like do marker or even the UV resin. It can cause a problem with it. Anyway, so let's get started on him. So I got my pigment paste mixed up. I like to, not that one. I either like to use these or like a plastic, they're a makeup, like a throwaway makeup thing for like eyeliners or lip liners or stuff, but they're not like a brush. They're more of a plastic, they're like a whole piece. And the reason I like that is because then it kind of stays hard. And sometimes I'll even take clear mica powder and I'll get it on there, and I'll even get it and then I'll cure it on there so it kind of keeps my tip nice and stiff. And it helps if you have the right end. And then I'll cure it a little bit. It kind of just helps keep from flattening out. So anyway, so we're just going to take him. And then I just like to go in and just fill these eyes in. With the UV resin. And I always, after I do this, especially with this being black and I pigmented it a lot, so it's good and black, I cure it very, very well. I cure it for, sometimes I do the 5-minute, because that has, my light has a 5-minute timer on it. So I will cure it for like 5 minutes, both. 2 times. Sorry, I can't talk and work at the same time, obviously. So, and if this thingy is not working like I want it to, and I do kind of go out of the lines with this, but before I cure it, I always clean up around the edges, which helps. You just don't want to push hard. You don't want to go down into the eye, because then it will I just kind of go over the top of the surface there. Fill it in good so it all looks good. My magnifying glass helps me with this so I can see well. Make sure I'm doing a good job. And then I'm just going to hit it with my light, give it a little so it'll stop moving around and I won't, like smear it or anything like that. So that's how I do that. And then for its mouth, see, it's got all these, like I said, you probably can't see it, but it's got a lot of little mica bubbles down there. So sometimes what I'll do to stop, because when you got a lot of bubbles down in here, you got like edges for the lip here, for the mouth here, and your marker or even your UV resin will go into where those bubbles are that have made holes. And then it makes your mouth look kind of weird along the edge. So I will take just the clear UV resin, just a little bit of the clear, and then a little brush. These little brushes I got from the Little Windows. They're really nice because you can use them with the UV resin and then just clean them out. Where UV resin sometimes will ruin your other brushes, but they seem to work really well with these. So anyway, and then I'll just kind of tap it into these little holes that are down along the lip, just so that when I go to put my black in, my black hopefully won't fill in those little holes and make a mess. And sometimes you got to use something a little different than the brush. Kind of just helps fill in some of those little holes and make them not look as, I don't know, like not notice them as much. Try to get the UV resin to go down into the holes. They're bubbles, but bubbles make holes. So just kind of pop them down in there. Fill it in the best you can. It's not easy. Kind of tedious work. If you don't like tedious work, then you wouldn't like to do this kind of stuff. Tedious work depends on my mood. Most of the time it's not a problem. Sometimes it waits for another day. So we're just gonna, this one's got a lot of little mica bubbles, which drives me crazy. I hate bubbles. I hate the little bubbles. I hate the big bubbles. So see how that works. So let's see. And sometimes you can take your little pokey thing. See, like that one is a big one. And like get some to go right down in there and poke it down in there so you can get the bubble to or the air to release out of there. Okay. Just see if we can smooth that over a little. Let's see. I think those ones right there along the top lip are what's going to be my biggest issue. So okay, I think I got those filled in pretty good. So I'm going to kind of hit them with the light. I don't want to get the UV down into the line that's supposed to be your smile. Guess I shouldn't put that too close to that. Because you're just going to fill in your little smile line. You don't want to fill in that. I'll try to cure that up. I wish this one didn't have so many little mica bubbles in the chin area. I mean, like you say, when it's sitting up like this, you can't see them, but it drives me crazy. All right, so let's see now if we can fill in our little smile line without going out of the lines. I mean, going into the mica bubbles. You don't want to get it into the mica bubbles because when you do, then you can't get it out of them. So you're just going to be really careful. I didn't get them filled in perfectly, but it's better than it was. So, and I don't know why I ended up with so many little mica bubbles. I run it through my vacuum chamber. I did all my little, the alcohol trick, the UV, or my heat gun trick. I did all those tricks, and I still ended up, and even running my little silicone tool around there, everything. But obviously it didn't work very well. Okay, so I'm just going to hit that so it won't go anywhere. Doesn't need to be a long while. These little lights are pretty powerful. It's crazy. Sometimes I think they're more powerful than your lamps that you have. Okay, and then we're just going to take and fill in her little nostrils, just so that they have detail and you can see them. So it's not, I mean, it's really not much different than doing them with your marker. It's just that this makes it a little more permanent to me. You kind of have to hit inside these nostrils pretty quick with the light because it tends to want to pull away from the edges of it. So it depends on how well you want that nostril to be filled. You don't want to get it too, like deep in there or anything, because then your black's not going to cure good. So I actually use the UV resin to do a lot of different painting with. Like when I do my, I've done a video on it where I've done my, the temporary tattoos, and then they're just black and white, but I want them to have color. So then I will use my UV resin to paint, just mix mica powders or the pigment paste or whatever in to my UV resin and paint with them. And like I said, again, yeah, I am getting them opaque, but I'm doing very thin. I'm not doing it thick, so it does cure pretty good. If I have a hard time with it curing, I just keep hitting it with the light and hitting it with the light, and eventually it does cure. But I've never really had that problem. The only time I've had that problem is when I'm curing in these pots and the bottom won't cure through on the pots. Even with the light coming from the bottom, because these lights have the bottom and top lights, and these pots are pretty see-through. So it should dry pretty quick, but it doesn't. You still kind of have a wet spot in there with the black. I haven't had it with, even when I mix up my white, I haven't, and I do my white pretty opaque. So, but anyway, just one more eye, and then you can see. So see, it actually does really well, and I think it makes them, I think it gives it a little more professional look. Well, for me, because like I said, me and markers don't get along. I have a really hard time with the markers. I I swear at them more than I actually get anything done. So, and I've been trying really hard to work on my swearing. So I'm going to wipe, just kind of give that a little wipe, just to kind of get off where I got it on the edge. And it looks pretty good. So I'm going to kind of give that, whoops, upside down. Give that a little cure. And then fill in some of these spots that I missed. Got kind of a little bubble right there. Fill that bubble in. Anywhere that it's not as, where it's kind of really thinnish and you can see the color through it. I don't like that. So I'm just going to make sure that's all filled in good. And it makes it real with these little unicorns and their little eyelashes. It makes it really easy to make those eyelashes really detailed. Okay, so then since I've got that one somewhat set and that, I'm going to go ahead and throw her over in here. We're going to put her on for 5 minutes. And then what I do with their little toes, I'm not going to do every single one of these with you. I'll probably just kind of give you the highlights here, and then I will finish him up, and then I will bring you back and let you see. If there's some of these, I might do some of them with you, just so you can kind of see the different things I do. The little hoof thingy is kind of hard to do. Because it just doesn't want to go in the little, it's not as deep as a thing. So I end up, that one's not a good one to show you on. Anyway, you can kind of see how I did it on that one. We just kind of go in there right in the little hoof area, make sure it's nice and cured, and that's how we do that. So on like these guys' eyes, let's see. Let's do, who's got the best eyes to do? Maybe this bunny right here. So I'm actually going to get one of these. This is another, just a little eyeliner thing, but this one is an actual brush. And I like to kind of do the same thing with this. I like to get some UV resin on there, just so that I can keep it from breaking down. And I like to keep that tip nice and pointed. And then I just stick it in the light. Bottom light's not on. Why are you not on? Come on, stay on, baby. I don't have a heck of a time with that sometimes. Okay. So, okay. So with these, kind of the same thing, but I don't go all the way out to the edge of you can see around here how it's got the detailed around that. I don't go all the way out to the edge of that. I kind of stay on the inside of that line. Because I don't know, sometimes when I feel like when I go all the way out to that edge, then I don't get as nice the eye just does not look as nice to me. That's all personal preference. If you like it all the way out to the edge, that's your personal preference. So go all the way out to the edge. I personally don't. So we're just gonna try to get it as straight as possible. And this is why I like my brush to stay nice and pointed, because I'm using it more like you would like your little pointy tool. But I don't use a little pointy tool because I feel like I scratch stuff with it. Because sometimes I am a very heavy-handed person. All right, as soon as I get it to the way I like it, I'll hit it with my light. Have a little company here. My little dog Maisie decided to come down and say hi. And now she's leaving again. So I just hit that really good. And then when it's all cured up, I always make up some white with my UV resin. And I like to give them the little dot. I call it the little sparkle in their eye. But anyway, so that's how I do that one. So pretty simple. Same with this one right here. She's got the same kind of eye. I do the same thing with that. Now the noses are kind of a pain. Some of these molds are not the best for noses. The noses are always kind of sometimes a little screwy on them. Especially this little rabbit, its nose is in the mold. It's messed up in the mold. So I just kind of have to do the best I can to fix her nose the way I want it. This one has a pretty good nose, and it's a pretty smooth, nice mold. Don't have too hard of a time with that. So just like to go around it. And fill it in the best you can. Now this mold has got a cute little design. I didn't even know it had it until I unmolded it for the first time. It's got a really cute little design that almost like was a stuffed animal and sewn. That's what it reminds me of, like she's sewn. So as soon as I get the nose to where I like it, we'll hit it with the light to keep it in place. And then you can, like if you need to go back and fill in something, then you can. Oh, come on, hit the light. But then you can do that to fix little lines or whatever. Then you can go down to make its little mouth. And then, of course, they're really fun everybody's doing the cute little things to them, blinging them out and putting hats and stuff on them. I like to do that too. I have quite a few little things. It's sometimes hard to find those little miniature things, but I think we're going to have to bring her nose down a little bit more to meet up with her smile. That's a little better. And then if there's anything you don't like, just kind of take your paper towel or whatever you have, wipe it a little bit sometimes it's a little hard to do, but especially when you got a hair stuck to your, oh, hang on. See, and that's the other problem. That little hair ruined out there. Wipe the stuff off your brush. You can kind of clean up your little area without wiping it all the way off. Like so. Okay, looks pretty good. So let's hit it with the, I always have this upside down. I don't know. I want it to be the other way. So just like so. Okay. And then like this one, you would just do, is her eyes are closed, but you would just do like in the, just a little edge. If I can get my little brush down in there. Okay. Then we're going to do a tiny bit of cleanup because it got on the out of the lines. Got a little spot right here that's not going to wipe off. So let's just see if we can take our brush and get it off. Don't like that. Crap. Just did it again. Get it down in there. First time I did this mold, I did it in straight black and I wasn't really happy with it. I was like, it's not a very cute mold. But then I decided I'm going to try it again since it's getting close to Easter. So I did it again and I did it in color. And then I did her eyes and her nose and everything. And she actually turned out pretty cute. I also like to put like a little, either like a little heart or something on her chest because she's got such a big chest that I like to do something like that on her too. But anyway, that's her. This little guy, I've never poured this before, but she really does. I mean, she has a little tiny spot for a nose. She does have like a collar with a bell on it. This one, this is, like I said, this is the first time, and I don't know if you can see it, but it got tons and tons of little mica bubbles. So I probably really won't do anything with this one because I don't like all those mica bubbles because, you know, you've got this pretty shiny where there's no mica bubbles, and then you have this, and it just, I hate that. So she'll probably just sit up on my shelf or something by herself. Okay, our little hippo here, what I do with her is because she just got these itty bitty eyes. So you just got to find the itty bitty eyes and just kind of do a little circle there just so that they show up. It's more of an oval, I guess, not really a circle. You could just use your dotting tool and just put a dot there. I kind of like, they kind of remind me of an ovally eye. So I try to do them a little more ovally than just straight and kind of give them a look. This is really dark blue, so you would have to definitely use white or dark black to make them show up. You could do white, but just a white eye I don't think would be as nice. And then I make a mess in the middle of everything. Okay, and then I'll just, inside her little nose holes here, just kind of give it a little highlight with black. hit it with the light so it doesn't go anywhere. See, she's got a lot of mica bubbles too. I hate those mica bubbles. Gosh, I don't know what it was. I will get mica bubbles, but the last couple of times I made these, because I have a little place that I take all my stuff to sell. I just have a little shop that lets me put some of the stuff in there. And then I don't have any white made up, but then I'll take some white, and because it looks like she's got like little teeth down here. Those are kind of hard to do. Sometimes I don't worry about those because, especially when you got a lot of little mica bubbles like that, it's really hard to paint them on. Okay, I'm going to show you my little pig because this pig has no spot for eyes. And like I said, me and markers don't get along, and I'm not a drawer, so I can't do that. So I went on my Cricut, and it took me a while to do this, but I went on my Cricut and I found me some eyes that I liked. So I just printed or cut them out, and then I try to just get them right where I'd want them to be. Try to line it up best I can so they look the same. It's pretty good. I'm going to get this off of here. Maybe. Okay. And then we're just going to, if I can do this without shaking, line it up the best I can. Put it on there. And you could probably, for him, you could like maybe use some googly eyes. Those would probably be cute on there. I don't have any googly eyes, so. So anyway, gives him little eyes. I didn't have enough of the pink, so I filled him up with some purple. But it looks very cute. He's got a little spot right there. Anyway, and then I have one already over here that I already made up, but I just took and filled in the little nose holes same way. And the ear holes, I put pink in these ones. She's got a little cowboy hat on and a bow on her tail. Anyway, she turned out pretty cute, I think. But it's just your way of detailing them however you want. Now this, show you really quick, I have these itty bitty gemstones that are black. So we're going to take some of the, I forgot the name of this glue. It is the Liquid Fusion. This glue right here. The Liquid Fusion. And I've got it in one of these smaller bottles. I don't know how, I know some people have transferred it over into the ones with them itty bitty tips on it. I don't know how they do that because the tip of mine is plugged all the time. So, just going to take, this is just one of those, one of these without the fuzz on it. Get our little thingy here. Okay. And then I just, where did I put that? Put some little glue right there in his little eye hole. You don't need a lot, but you do need enough that your little gemstone will stick to it. And then move that around in there till I can find the teeny tiny ones. Come on, pick it up. Well, you bugger. Oh, I just broke the tip off of it. Good thing I can sharpen it again. And then we're just going to put that in there. Give it kind of a little push down with your finger. See if I can get this one picked up. And then look, you really can't tell they're gemstones, but it makes a perfect little round spot. Wipe the excess glue off, and look, cute. And then I do the same thing with the black for her nose and her little mouth, smiley mouth, and then we decorate them up. Put like this one's got a butterfly on its ear. It's got this heart on its chest right here. I usually find something like a gemstone, or not a gemstone, but like a charm or whatever to put on that, where that's at. But there's that one. That one, I had a little bit of pink left over from something. I had poured it in the mold, and then I ended up with some orange. Anyway, so the other little thing I wanted to show you is, so these little pigs right here, I'm going to do the same thing with its face. We'll do the eyes and the nose holes and that, and probably fix its little bib here or whatever. I tried to do the bib white. It kind of worked, but kind of not. Anyway, I thought that she would be super cute with a feather hat. Now these hats, when I got them, they come with like a clip on them so you can put them in your hair. But the other thing, where I actually seen these little hats to begin with, they actually have these little hats with a little, like a rubber band thingy around them. And you can buy them for your chickens and put them on your chickens. My chickens absolutely hate them. So I put them on them once and that was it. But anyway, I thought she would be super cute with one of these little hats on her head. Cause the funny thing is this hat almost was made for the top of her head. Crazy. Anyway, so we're just going to use some of the liquid fusion, or actually maybe we'll use, this is B7000. I don't know what the difference between that and E6000 is, but this came in, I got this in a kit. When I ordered a jewelry kit, I got like 3 or 4 of these little things. And they have these itty bitty tiny, whatever you call them, like a little, and then the lid has that little pointy thing, which makes it nice, because then you don't get plugged up like my nose. So we're going to put some of this around here. I don't want a ton, but I want enough that it won't just come right back off. Okay. Sometimes I have a hard time getting that back in there. Okay, and then we're going to put her little feathery hat on so she can go out on the town. Whoops, you know what? I think I got the glue in the wrong spot. I think it needs to be in a little closer. I have one of these, if I can find it. This little thing, I had these from when I used to do hair, and I'd run the color down in the tube so that you could get all that color out of the tube. So let's put this around the edge, inside the edge a little bit better. Okay. Where'd my lid go? Oh, there it is. Probably should wipe that off, but we're just going to stick it in there for now. Okay. So let's put her cute little hat on you. I don't need this magnifying glass for a second. Oh, ain't she cute with her little hat on? Hold it down a little bit. Oh, she's so cute. That makes her really cute. Not that you'd go out on the town with a bib on, but whatever. Yeah. Anyway, she's cute. Then this one, like I said, the mica powder, I think what it was because I did this first and then the mica, I don't know what happened, but anyway, the mica powders got out there. So I thought she would be super cute, kind of cover up some of that mica powder. Since she's wearing they look like chaps to me, the way they've got like this around the edge. And her poor little tail has a bubble in it, plus the blue got on the pink. So she's not something I would sell. So I may not glue this hat down just because of that. But anyway, I thought she would be super cute with a cowboy hat. But I do have one of these already done. She worked out pretty good. I actually went back over her. She's in another video. I went back over her with and shined stuff up because she's a matte mold also. But her face was done before I started doing, so that's done with marker. But anyway, she would be super cute with cowboy hat on, I think. So I have there's a black cowboy hat, a white cowboy hat, pink cowboy hat, and a brown cowboy hat. Okay, so those would be really cute with that. This little guy, I don't know. Oh, look, the cowboy hat doesn't really fit over its ears very well. Nope, that one doesn't fit its ears either. But anyway, so these are the ones I did in a different video. With those, I did do I painted this on with the UV resin and stuff. So you've seen that in another video. So anyway, I'm gonna work on some of these and I'll bring you back and let you see. But I just kind of wanted to give you a little quick rundown on how I do the faces on my things now. I don't use the markers anymore. My little characters. I do it all with UV resin. Now see, this one I did do the little teeth. So you can see the little teeth on that one. The color of that one. That turned out cool. So anyway, so I will get all of these done. And then I will bring you back and maybe I could show you, maybe I'll bring you, when I get ready to do a unicorn, I could show you what I do, how I do the rest of my unicorns, because they do get a little extra here and there. So anyway, I will get back to you in a little bit. Okay. So I got them all finished. So I thought I'd let you see what I did with all of them. This is the one that I told you that once you do her, she has like this, it's like a design right in the mold. So what I do is I just put some color in there so that you can see it. That is just paint. So it would wipe off. But anyway, so that's her. Got her little nose, her eyes, the paint. I don't really, with the paint, with the design on there, I don't really want to take away from it. So I don't ever usually put anything else on her. I just leave her like that. These two little rabbits, I kind of just leave them the same way too. They just have a little bow tie or a little bow on their neck. I guess it's not necessarily a bow tie. If you don't like them matte, you could always paint them with some UV resin and let it and cure it. But I don't mind them matte. Sometimes I do paint them so they're shiny, but not very often. Anyway, so I just put the little bow ties on them, or bows around their neck, whatever. This one has her eyes and her mouth. she doesn't really have a nose. The way it comes down, it's kind of different. So I don't know where her nose would be really. So I don't do anything with her. But she would be cute if you put like and I think I have done that in the past where you put just a butterfly or something on her nose. So, cause she's up like that, or you could put a flowers or something, I don't know, something so it looks like she's sniffing it or whatever. The hippos, they just have a bow on one ear and a butterfly on, this one has a dragonfly, this one has a butterfly on their nose. I did get their teeth painted. This is the little pig with the cowboy hat. This did her little eyes, kind of painted. She's got her mouth open, so I kind of like did teeth and that. Anyway, put the cowboy hat, had a little star, so I put a little star right there. And the two moose, they got bows on their necks and butterflies on their nose. These two little rabbits, I just put a bow on their ears. I kind of put it sideways. Sometimes I put it straight in the middle. Sometimes I put it sideways. They got their little eyes done. These are the ones that their nose isn't the best coming out of the mold, so I just do it the best I can. But using the UV resin, you kind of can fill in the little holes that it has. We have the four little bears. This one has a dragonfly on her ear and then just a little pendant over the heart. This one has a flower over the heart and a bow on her ear. This one has a butterfly on her ear and a pendant. This one has a pendant and a bow. And she's got so many mica bubbles down there. I just kind of tried to put some jewels around it to see if I could hide it, but it doesn't really hide it. But so, and then the unicorns, I was going to bring you back and let you see what I did with them, but I'll just tell you, I just take some glitter, any kind of glitter, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can do whatever kind of glitter you want. I usually just have this really fine glitter. I think it's supposed to be non-sinkable glitter. And I just mixed it in with my UV resin, and then I just painted it on the mane and the tail, just to give it a little different color than the body. Got her eyes, her nose, her mouth, her hooves done. This one I put a butterfly on her neck right there. This one just has a little bow pendant. Oh, and I just paint UV resin on their horn right there and then dip it in any color glitter you want. And then I just cure it really good afterwards. So I got those ones. These ones just have the bows. Well, that one's more like a pendant, I guess. I don't know, bow pendant. And this one just has a little bow on her neck. Hello, Maisie. So this pig, I really haven't decided what to do with it. What I'm going to do, I don't know. Kind of weird with its purple feet. So I haven't really decided what to do with them. Then this one, I showed you how I put the hat on it. And then this mold has like Chinese or whatever writing on the bib area. So I decided I didn't want that on there. So I sanded that down because it is, resin. Is that the right word for that? Anyway, so I just sanded that down, and then I just put, this is one of the temporary tattoos, put that on her little bib, and then I just UV resined it on. So anyway, but that's what that little pig looks like without anything on it. Anyway, that's pretty much it. The unicorns and the moose and hippos, rabbits, pigs, bunnies, little bears. Anyway, that's everything. So thought I'd give you a little sneak peek of the rest of what I did, and I will see you on the next one. So if you like my videos, please press the like button. It only takes a second, but will support my channel immensely. And don't forget to subscribe and leave me a comment. That always helps. And you can press the notification bell, so you always know when new content's coming out. Usually release my videos on Wednesdays. So anyway, all I have to say now is don't forget to embrace your chaos. Okay, guys, see you next time.